S5 Hunting. Precision, efficiency, and success. All business on the hunt.
In the heart of New York, a new adventure awaits. As the snow melts away and the flowers begin to bloom, a new season is upon us. Spring turkey season has arrived, and the hunt is on. With their keen senses and elusive nature, these birds are among the most challenging game to pursue. But for those who are up to the challenge, the rewards can be great. The thrill of the chase, the satisfaction of a successful hunt, and the delicious taste of fresh turkey meat.
Brought to you by S5 Hunting. Let's kick off this film with a retrospective of last year, where Weston was presented with the golden opportunity to harvest a longbeard. Unfortunately, he was plagued with uncertainty and felt uneasy about making the shot that would determine his success. As young hunters, we often find ourselves grappling with tough choices like these. But with experience comes knowledge, and we learn the essential do's and don'ts, as well as when to seize a safe opportunity to beg our game. Despite Weston not taking advantage of the encounter, there was one experienced hunter who did. The following is an account of Weston's and Terry's experience.
Hey, been successful this morning. We brought Weston here out to get his first turkey this year in 2022. And what is it, May 6th today? 7th today?
Yeah.
And as you can see here, we've ended up filling my second tag and shot this bird about 9 o'clock this morning. We heard 3 gobbles is all this morning below us, and the first of the week I took a nice almost 22-pound 2-year-old here just by myself. And so we decided after a couple, 3 hours of sitting, we'd go up the hill, check the top of the property. We did that. We got no response. We didn't see a lot of sign until we actually got back down close to here. We decided to set up, and I sat up behind the blind above them, 50 yards up on the flat spot above where the blind is here. And we started a series of calls. Mikey would call from the blind, I would call from up above. That way it sounds more realistic that there's a couple hens arguing over things. And it wasn't long, I heard a hen actually chit-chatting back to us, and Weston thought he'd heard a gobble. So after the series of calls ended, we did it a couple of times. I happened to look down and I could just barely see the blind from up where I was, and I looked out and I see Weston's gun start to move, and I see it lower down out the window, and I says, oh, there must be a bird coming. And I looked to my right, and on the road down below me, I could see this Tom coming through, and he came into what I considered range. I lost sight of him, and I don't know why Weston wasn't shooting. So with that, I turned my scope on. I'm expecting to hear a bang, and I see a bird working up through the brush to my right. So I get up on my knees because I'm in a spot where I can't really shoot at it unless it gets high enough, and it does, and I end up shooting it. It ended up being this Jake, which tagged me out for the season, which I'm happy to do. When I talked to Mike afterwards, he came up to see the Jake. He said that there was a longbeard with it, and it was headed up towards me too, but it was behind where the Jake was. So I was so focused on the Jake, I didn't see the longbeard coming up, and Weston didn't shoot the longbeard, as we found out after the fact. He actually had the crosshairs on it, but because he's a first-year hunter, we try to be perfect. We try to just make sure everything is okay, and we don't pull the trigger. And so, is that what happened?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
After Weston's previous year's experience, we made it a priority to get Weston more acquainted with his hunting equipment. Our goal was to boost his confidence and preparedness so that he would be fully equipped to successfully harvest a bird if the chance presented itself. Given that hunting requires thorough preparation, we wanted to ensure that Weston had the necessary tools and the knowledge to seize his moment in the field. As we kick off the 2023 turkey hunting season, Terry and Weston are met with several days of unsuccessful hunting for a tom. Despite their best efforts, they just couldn't seem to catch a break. It was then when they made the decision to switch properties and head over to Turtle Top. The next clip provides a detailed account of their experience on that particular day.
Weston, what did happen?
Well, to sum it up, we just heard a turkey. We started slowly moving, or not slow. It's actually kind of
Easing over. We were
easing
going
over,
easy,
yeah.
yeah.
It was a lot faster than I imagined it'd be.
Yeah.
We heard the turkey gobble, and so we started moving. Was it back around where we were?
Yep.
A little trail, and we moved up, stopping every now and then to call, making sure the tom is still there, and then we moved next to a field.
Right out to the field where the trail he was on was actually going to come around to.
Yep. Uncle Terry called for the final time, and then Dad saw the turkey moving, and then I saw its neck and head pop out of the bush, and I immediately pulled the trigger, and down it went, rolling down the hill.
And how big was it?
It was decently sized. It was 23 and a half pounds when we weighed it. Big turkey.
Yeah, it had a 10-inch beard, an inch and a quarter spurs, and I've hunted a lot of years. My biggest bird to date is a 22-pounder. I got like 4 of those, but never over 22 pounds, and his first turkey ever. He set the bar pretty high.
Weston, get your gun up. I see his head. He's creeping out right in front of you, Weston. Last shot taken. Safety on.
You couldn't make my day happier. Only if Jack comes home.
Hey, buddy. Good job. Wow. As I contemplate Weston's growth over the past year as a turkey hunter, I am struck by the remarkable progression he has made. It's truly impressive to see how his passion for the sport has fueled his growth, and I couldn't be more proud of him. His latest harvest is a testament to his perseverance and skill, and I have no doubt that it will be talked about for years to come. Congratulations, Weston, on this incredible achievement that cements your place as a true journeyman of the hunt. Let's move on to our next hunt. Well, this hunt we decided to set up in the blind. Even though we saw a bunch of deer that morning, we didn't hear one peep from any tom. So we decided to set up the hill and see what we found. As we made our way up the hill, we paused every now and then to listen for any sound. Since we didn't hear anything, we carried on until we reached the top of the property where the field stretched out before us. We carefully ventured into the field, hoping to catch a glimpse of what lay below the hill. And lo and behold, we were thrilled to spot 3 solitary birds. We waited patiently to see where these birds would go. After observing them for a while, we noticed that they were simply working their way along the hedgerow, feeding. Although they were far away, I decided to call out to them. To my delight, as soon as they heard my call, they started sprinting up the hill. Weston and I retreated to the woodline and set up. After sitting for 15 minutes, these birds started responding to my calls left and right. Every time they gobbled, their echoes reverberated throughout the woods, making it difficult to pinpoint their exact location. Unfortunately, due to my inexperience, I made the poor judgment of moving too quickly, thinking that they worked their way down to the lower field. As I came to terms with my mistake, I made a decision to hike up to the upper field in hopes of catching a glimpse of these elusive birds. As I approached the field, I noticed movement out of the corner of my eye. The birds were vanishing into the woodline. At this point, I felt pretty defeated and disheartened. As I trudged back down to the blind, I decided to speak with Terry. I recounted the events to him, and he reassured me that the birds could still be in that upper field. Well, at this point, he was sitting in the blind pretty much all day and needed to stretch his legs. The next clip shows exactly what took place after he got to the top.
We set up this morning, heard no gobbling at all. No hens, no nothing. All we were was overrun with deer and in the blind. And so Mikey and Weston got out around 8 o'clock, right?
Yep.
And they went up to the top of the property, to the other end of the property, worked around, didn't see anything until they got up to the upper field, saw 3 birds in the field, which they thought were jakes because they were quite a ways out across the field. But he said that it appeared that they saw them because their heads came up, and so they backed up out of sight and called, and the birds gobbled. And he said he could see them running towards him. So they backed up into the woods and found a spot, sat down and waited a little while. And then when they gobbled again, he started calling, but it appeared that they were working their way away from him. It seemed to be more distant. And so they got up again and glassed the field, saw him going into the back corner of the field. They had moved away. So he came down, told me about it. They were on my side of the woods, so they should have come down through possibly. But anyway, I needed to stretch it. So I got up and I decided to walk up and see if they just had ducked in and ducked back out, and that's just what they did. They were actually in the corner, really close to the property. So I just set up, started calling. They gobbled their way in, and I'm tagged down as up today. So what a blessing this property has been. We're not seeing as many birds in here. The man that owns it does a lot of work in here, taking dead ash out and stuff. So he's in here all the while. I think it keeps the birds high and low in the property. So anyway, just great to be tagged out. A real dandy of a bird.
Beautiful bird. This just proves that experience truly pays off. We are incredibly grateful that we were able to come away with a bird on that day. Keep following our journey as we continue to explore Bruno's with our expert guides Ed Laurie and Terry Bennett. Currently on Bruno's farm, positioned beside an age-old oak tree that has become a fixture on the farm due to its reputation as a prime location for turkey hunting. This spot happens to be situated at the intersection of several paths that turkey frequently traverse and rest in. As Ed Laurie says it himself, we're about to have a typical Bruno's day.
March day 6 of our hunt, and we all were talking to Ed Laurie, and he said, yeah, I'll take you guys out Tuesday. So here we are. It's been a beautiful day, beautiful morning, and I just believe things happen so far.
To anybody who knows me, we're at Bruno's, and we've had a typical Bruno's morning. Safety hasn't gone off yet, but we've had lots of gobbling. We watched the Dandy Tom strutting out in the field on the other side of the fence, and we watched 2 Toms and 3 Jakes fighting it out over there too. There's a pile of birds on this hill. They're all, the guys we want all seem to be with hens, but we watched 2 Toms. We watched a Tom with 3 hens. Those hens disappeared. That Tom picked up another Tom and those 3 Jakes, and that's what the fight was going on out there. They've wandered north. They've headed north on the ridge, but experience tells us there's more birds on this ridge, and they could be coming back. And give it a little while, let things calm down. Who knows what's liable to happen here?
Yeah, we'll stay patient, sit tight, and we'll check back in with you guys here in a little bit.
Hey everyone, just wanted to summarize the Bruno's hunt. What a action-filled day we had, and the time we were able to share with Ed, Lori, Uncle Terry, and Weston. It was just an incredible overall day. We wish we ended on a super high note of being able to harvest a bird. It just didn't pan out that day. And a lot of the hens that were on that property were still not nesting, so it really captured these birds' attention, and they were solely focused on those hens. So to call and try to pull them away from a live hen, man, it's really difficult to do. So I would say probably give that property another week. When all those hens are nesting, man, they're going to be answering and coming right to you. So I wish the best of luck to Ed Laurie and his son, as well as his brother John, if they go back out to that property. But anyway, to summarize the 2023 season, it's just been an amazing season to share with Uncle Terry and Weston, and the memories we've been able to capture, and the time we're even able to share with Ed Laurie. It was just a very cool experience. I'll never forget it. To be able to get Weston's first bird was probably my biggest priority, and I really wanted to capture on film and get the whole experience of Uncle Terry working these birds, and I think we were able to achieve that. Granted, we didn't get the bird on film the way I wanted, but we kind of came up with a motto where we said we're all business. So there's several times where we haven't got these birds on film, only because of our window of opportunity is very small at times. So I think it's important to take the window of opportunities that we're given, and I'd rather have meat in the freezer than a box full of shells. So unfortunately we didn't get as much on film as we wanted. It's something I'm going to work on and continue to improve on. But as a whole, I think this season is extremely successful. We had Weston get his first bird, which was a massive bird, man, 23.5 pounds. Uncle Terry in that area, I mean, he's been hunting there for years and years and years and years, and that's the biggest bird he's seen taken from any of the areas that we've been hunting. So I think for Weston to be able to get that for his first bird is just setting the bar, man. Like Uncle Terry said in the video, he's definitely setting it high, and it might take him a very long time to beat. But apart from that, Uncle Terry was able to harvest both his birds and filled both of his tags, as well as Ed Laurie filled both of his tags. Ed Laurie's brother John filled 2 different tags for 2 different young hunters this year, which is just awesome that they continue to support the youth and the growth of turkey hunting as a whole. So to be able to continue all of these things, as well as make the memories that we've been able to make, has just overall been an amazing experience. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch the film, and hopefully I continue to improve on each year that I film. But you guys take care until next time. S5 Hunting. Precision, efficiency, and success. All business on the hunt.
Good job. Close enough.
Good enough.
Yeah.
Okay,
When
Wes-
you're ready, Mike? Did you get it or no? Weston didn't get a turkey. Good job.
Good job, buddy. Okay,